Welcome to the Stepmom Side with Alicia Crasco, the podcast for stepmoms ready to create the life they want and one they actually have a say in. Here we talk all things stepmom life and just a little bit more. Leave the superficial conversations at the door and get ready for perspective shifts and actionable advice to help you on your way to creating the life you want, one step at a time. Hey there, welcome back to the Stepmom Side podcast. Before I get into this, by the time this podcast episode comes out, it's going to be Teacher Appreciation Week at my daughter's school. And I was printing something and I was like, oh no, like in my office, and I'm like, oh no, is it going to be too loud? Like, is the microphone going to pick it up? So then I waited and I tried recording like when it was going and I'm like, you can't even hear anything. So it's really great. Our printer is way quieter than I thought that it was going to be, but I was a little stressed for a little bit. This week, so I'm on the PTO board at my daughter's school, and we are doing like a 90s theme, since like trending, like what were you like in the 90s? And it is kind of funny because one of the things that we're having them do is send in pictures of them like from the 90s. And then they're having like we have like a little prize, like whoever gets the most pictures correct or like can guess who's who, like they get a little prize. And I'm like really excited about it because it's like a 90s theme. I don't want to do the spoiler alert of like what it is in case one of the staff members at the school actually listens to my podcast. I highly doubt it, but it is really fun. I'm like really, really excited about all of the different things that themes that we have going on. And if you are like super interested in it, like I am kind of nerdy and I will tell you all of the themes that we've got because it's really fun. Like last year we did like a Candyland theme, and we had different, like themes for the day. Like we had like a chocolate fountain that they could like dip different fruits and stuff, and we always cater like a lunch. But this year Monday is like pump up the jam, like we're just doing breakfast. Tuesday is snack attack, so there'll be like different snacks set up in there, a teacher's lounge. Also a 90s themed photo booth, so we're having them come dressed in their most dope 90s attire. So it could be, the principal is really fun too, so she's like, I don't know if I want to be like grunge or if I want to be like preppy, like I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm really excited about that. Wednesday is all that in a bag of chips. We're catering lunch from a local Mexican restaurant. We're having the lady that I do massages with, like she's donating time for like chair massages. Thursday, we're doing totally rad and relaxed. So we're having a coffee truck in the morning and donuts. And then we're also continuing chair massages so everyone gets an opportunity to do them. The coffee truck is like, I'm really excited about this year's coffee truck. This sounds so like in the weeds, but they hand make everything. So espressos, like they actually like not roast, but like grind the espresso beans like on site, like in their little truck. So that we gave them a menu to choose from. They get to choose like whatever they want. And then Friday, you've got mail. We've got like a little special gift card for them to have. And it's coming. This is super, super, super cute. We found a thing on Etsy. It's a VHS looking gift card holder, and so we're printing them out, cutting them out, and then like putting like the gift card that we're giving them in there. And I'm like really excited. I know that sounds really nerdy, but I'm like super, super excited about it. Like I like to plan, and by the time that this comes out, it'll already be done. But like we're decorating the front entrance of the school to like be 90s themed, and the teacher's lounge and all of the things. And so yeah, it's really fun. And then we have really great gifts for the teachers, like my daughter's teacher specifically. And I was just working on designing, like we did this little book all about her, and we had the kids like fill out their own little things. And I just designed like the cover for it, and we bound it. Like, listen, I will like nerd out and like geek out with you about this, but I'm like really, really excited. Anyway, that is a long story to start this podcast episode, especially since it's kind of like a heavy topic. But let's move on to the podcast episode. There's not really like a good segue into that, so I'm like stumbling over my words here. But this podcast episode, we're going to be talking about something that will mess with your head, like if you don't understand it. And honestly, like no one really explains this to stepmoms. Like I didn't get explained this like when I first started out. Like I had no idea that this was coming for me. But I'm going to talk to you about why your stepkid acts like you don't exist when their mom or their other parent is around. Even like at your house. So like they're hugging you. So even at your house, like they're hugging you, they're talking to you, they're laughing with you, maybe even choosing to sit next to you on the couch. They want to run errands with you. They, like they like all the things that you like, whatever. And then suddenly like their mom, the other parent shows up and it's like, you've been erased from the family tree. Alicia who? Rachel who? Sarah who? Like, stepmom who? There's no eye contact. There's no hug. There's no bye. There's nothing. It's like, you're not even there. And you're standing there like, cool, cool, cool. I guess I just hallucinated our relationship. Or honestly, you're just kind of like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I didn't do anything, right? It's like that hot and cold thing. It's so weird. And if you've ever felt that, this episode is going to change how you see it. Hopefully, it's going to change how you see it completely. But that's kind of like a bold statement to say, like, it's going to completely change how you see this. Because what's happening here is called a loyalty bind. And yes, I have talked about this on the podcast before, but I want to like dive into this like a little bit deeper, especially since Mother's Day is coming up when this episode comes out live. But it could be like anytime. It could be like around a birthday. It could be around the holidays. It could be literally anytime. But once you understand it, like the loyalty bind, you can finally stop making it mean something about you. And that is the caveat there that I want to reiterate this. Like, oh my gosh, I'm still like in my head thinking about like Teacher Appreciation Week and like how excited I am for it. But once you understand loyalty binds, you can finally stop making it mean something about you. That's the big thing here. It's not the caveat, but that's the big point I want to drive home about this because sometimes we get so wrapped up in our head. Sometimes we, tell ourselves these stories. Sometimes we make up these stories. Sometimes we make things mean insert whatever about us and has nothing to do with you or about you, nothing to do with you. So I'm going to break this down like super easy. Let's talk, what is a loyalty bind? Like, what is that? So in normal human terms, not therapist textbook language, a loyalty bind is when a child feels like they cannot be loyal to two people at the same time. Even if those two people aren't actually making them choose. Okay, so I just want to reiterate that. So even if you've never heard the other house speak terribly about you, or even if you guys are cordial, I mean, we experienced this too. Even though everyone in our situation gets along, there were still loyalty binds. Like, no one is immune from it, right? So even if the other house isn't saying, if you like them, I won't love you, or whatever it is, right? So in the kids' mind, it becomes, if I show my love to Alicia or you, does that mean that I'm betraying my mom, my other parent? Spoiler, to them sometimes yes. And here's the part that will really get to you. No one has to say it out loud, right? Like I just said, this is not always about a high conflict ex. This is not always about manipulation or alienation. Sometimes it's just the child's internal wiring trying to protect their relationship with that other parent. Because kids are biologically wired to maintain attachment to their parent. That feels like survival to them. Like they have to choose. They can read a room. Like kids, it does not have to be step kids. Like if you have kids of your own, if you have nieces, if you have nephews, if you have friends that have kids, like kids can read a room. They can see the unspoken things. Oh my gosh, I swear, like they have sixth senses. But they are feeling like, okay, I can tell that things are contentious. I can tell that, okay, they used to be together. They're not together, even though like they are pretending to be cordial or they are cordial or whatever. Like they can read between the lines, right? So it feels like survival to them. So if there's even a hint, real or imagined, that the other parent might feel hurt, replaced, or upset, insecure, whatever it is that they feel like that other parent might feel, they will course correct fast. So that's what a loyalty bind is, right? Let's move on to why loving you can feel like a betrayal, or even liking you, or even like wanting to be around you, why that feels like a betrayal. This is the part that stings a little, so buckle up. To a child, especially younger kids, love feels finite, like a pie. And if they give you a slice, that means that there's less for their other parent. Now, logically, we know and we understand that's not true. But kids, again, especially younger ones, They're not out here doing emotional math with maturity and nuance and context and all of the things. They're thinking, if I hug my stepmom, you, in front of my other parent or, my mom, will it make my mom feel sad? Will it make her feel jealous? Will it make her feel insecure? Will it make her feel hurt, replaced? They're also thinking, if I say I had fun here, will my mom think I love her less? If I show them I like my stepmom, will that hurt my mom? So what do? Instead of having that internal emotional turmoil, what do? They avoid the risk. They shut it down. They become neutral or distant or cold. Not because they don't care about you, but because caring about you feels emotionally dangerous in that moment. Does that make sense? So even if this is really, really hard because I've seen it in situations where there isn't a step parent involved, because I have friends that are divorced, but they haven't repartnered. And I can see it at exchanges with the parents, how there's that nuance of oh no, what is the other parent thinking? Or what is that parent thinking? And you can see the kids, I can, because I know what I'm looking for. I can see the weirdness. And it's not super obvious, but it's just those little, the eyes darting back and forth, or the hesitation, or the stutter step, or the just watching what they're saying kind of thing. It just feels emotionally dangerous because it feels like they have to choose sides. It feels like they're picking one or the other, and then that means that they don't love the other more. And no kid wants to feel like that, right? No kid wants to feel like I'm choosing this person, or it's a really terrible position for them to be in. So now that we've covered what a loyalty bind actually is, why loving you can feel like a betrayal, I'm going to move on to why it happens even when you have a great relationship. Even when you have a great relationship. And this is where stepmoms typically spiral the most. Because you're but we're good, Alicia. We're actually good. I've sat in coaching sessions and I've had stepmoms cry. And if you are in a coaching session just with me, just know this. You can cry. And I'm please cry. I will sit here and I will hold space for you. I might actually cry with you because I am kind of an empath. No, I definitely am. But they're I don't understand. Trying to reconcile it as an adult is really freaking hard, right? So stepmom spiral here because, you think we are good. We're so good. We, run errands. It's my little sidekick. It's, my little partner in crime. Whatever it is, whatever word you use to describe your stepkid or stepkids, we're good. So good. And I just want to say, exactly. That's why this feels so confusing, because you're not dealing with a bad relationship. What you're dealing with is a situational behavior shift. Let me repeat that for you. You're not dealing with a bad relationship. You're dealing with a situational behavioral shift. So at your house, they feel safe. They feel connected to you. They feel like they can be themselves. And I see this a lot too, where at one house, a kid acts a certain way, and at another house, they act a completely different way. I've heard and seen it with my own stepkids. I've also talked to them about it. I've seen it with other kids too. They feel safe to connect with you. They feel like they can be themselves. They feel like they, can say whatever. They just feel safe at your house. They feel loved. They feel welcomed. They feel wanted. All of the things. At their mom's house or their other parent's house, they feel safe protecting that relationship. Does that make sense? They feel safe protecting that relationship. And when those two worlds collide, their brain, like mine would too, goes, abort, abort, emotional conflict detected, beep, 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 rah, rah, rah. The alarms and bells and whistles and all of the things are going on, flashing red lights, help, 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 SOS, mayday, mayday. So they default to loyalty, not connection. And let me just go ahead and say that louder for the people in the back. They are choosing loyalty, not rejecting connection. And I think that's where the biggest thing comes in here is once you can say, I get it. They're choosing loyalty. That's easier. That's easier. They're choosing loyalty. It's easier. They're not rejecting connection. So it's not that they don't want to have a relationship with you. It's not that they don't want to, be your sidekick or all of the things. They're choosing loyalty though. And I see this play out too, a little side tangent here, is when they know that one parent is more put together, not better off in the sense of like financially maybe, but just like more emotionally stable, they typically gravitate towards the other parent, almost like parenting them. So it's like the kid is now like parentifying it themselves. So when you see this loyalty bind play out, just know they're choosing loyalty, not rejecting connection. Okay. And I don't know, like I do this too, not so much anymore. I try really hard not to do this, but I also have situational behavior shifts. Like if actually, I shouldn't say I try not to do this. I definitely do it. If I'm out with my friends and I'm having a great time, you know, we could be whatever, like out for a walk, just like yucking it up, like being silly and, you know, whatever. I act very differently than how I act when I'm volunteering at school. I act very differently how I'm going to, you know, I act very differently, like I'm thinking like Sunday dinner, like with my in-laws. I act differently there than I would if I'm out to dinner, like with my friends. I act differently with my husband than I do my daughter. I act differently if I'm with all three of them. I mean, all three of us. You know, I act differently with Dusty than I do, you know, everyone else. Like, so it's, have you ever, I'm trying to see if I can like remember the exact quote. Several years ago, there was a reel. I actually did do it. Like remade it. But it was like, some people will tell you, the audio is something like, some people, I'm totally going to butcher this, so please don't hold me accountable here. Some people will tell you that I'm the nicest person or the most beautiful person that you've ever met. And some people will tell you I'm the biggest asshole or something like that. Believe them both. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. Because it depends on what context you know me. Like if you know me in a context where you haven't done something that I didn't like and I called you out on it, obviously in that sense, if you don't take accountability, like you're probably not going to like me because I'm not like, oh yeah, it's okay. Like I don't mind that you know, insert whatever. No, I'm going to say something. But then if you know me in a different context, you're going to be like, oh, Alicia's so nice. Like she's really great. Yeah. It just depends on the context, right? So kind of here, like that's what's happening with your stepkids. They're not like nice and then like an asshole, but like they are behaving however they see fit according to the situation. So there's that situational like behavior change, shift. Again, sorry, like long story short, or like long story, or short story long. So then here's like where the personal offense comes in. So we've talked about what a loyalty bind is, why loving you like feels like a betrayal, and then why it happens like even if you have a great relationship, but then here's the personal offense trap. Let's talk about what stepmoms do next. I did this. I 100% did this. So if you are early on in your stepmom role, please listen to this. Stepmoms take it personally. Because of course you do. You're human. You're like, wow, that felt rude. That felt fake. That felt embarrassing. That was a total mindfuck. Like, then your brain goes into full detective mode. Do they not actually like me? Was everything at our house fake? Am I being played? Which is the real one? What personality is the real one? The one that likes me or the one that doesn't? So there's all of these things, right, that we make up in our head, that we tell ourselves, that we feel, that we're, you know, and so then we're like, oh my gosh. So now we're spiraling about something that's really difficult for a kid. And unless you can see it from that perspective, we make it about ourselves. And we're like, nope, they don't like me. I don't think they actually like me. Was everything in our house fake? You know, all the things. And you're like, okay, the next time they come over, I'm definitely going to talk to them about this, which then like kind of perpetuates the problem and makes it feel like a little bit worse, not a little bit worse, a lot worse. And so suddenly you're questioning the entire relationship, your entire relationship with your stepkid or kids based on one moment. One moment. That's not fair. That is not fair. And I say this with love. That is your brain trying to create certainty out of something that has nothing to do with you. This is not about your worth. This is not about your relationship. This is not about you being less than. This is about a child trying to navigate two emotional worlds without hurting anyone. And spoiler, they don't have the skills to do that smoothly. They don't have the skills to do that at all, let alone smoothly. Okay? So this is your brain trying to create certainty out of something that has nothing to do with you, even though we've totally made it all about us, right? Because what do we crave? We crave feeling safe, feeling wanted, feeling like we're welcome, feeling we're part of the team, feeling all of the things. We want the certainty. Uncertainties, are you kidding me? That makes me spiral. That makes me feel crazy. The unknowns, I hate them, especially as a stepmom, like a new stepmom who had no idea that there was going to be so much uncertainty, so many unknowns. Holy shit, what? I went from like a super solid life to like, whoa, talk about a roller coaster, high highs, low lows, and everything in between. So your brain is trying to create certainty. It's trying to make you feel safe. But this situation of how your stepkid acts has nothing to do with you. Nothing. So don't try to make this about you. This is about a child trying to navigate two emotional worlds without hurting anyone. And let's talk about why kids switch between houses. Behavior-wise, obviously they go back and forth, duh. But like why they switch behaviors between houses. Let's normalize this real quick. Kids are not one consistent version of themselves across environments. They are not one consistent version of themselves across environments. They adapt. They read the room. They adjust behavior based on what feels safe in each place. You do this too, by the way. Remember I talked about how I did it earlier? I will tell you this. You don't act the same with your boss as you do with your best friend. You probably don't act the same with your colleague as you do your sister or your cousin or your brother or your mom or your dad or whoever. You're the same human, but it's a different environment. Kids just do it too. They do it, but with way less awareness. Remember how they can't help like having this, they don't have the skills to like try to navigate two emotional worlds. They don't have the skills and they can't do it smoothly. They also don't have the awareness of like, oh, yikes. So when they're with you, they lean into that relationship. They feel safe with you. They feel loved with you. They feel insert whatever it is with you. And then when they're with their mom or their other parent, they protect that relationship. And a lot of times I see stepmoms say, that's manipulation. They're manipulating the situation. No, my friend. That's adaptation. That's adaptation. They're adapting to the situation, the environment that they're in. Yes, sometimes it can be manipulation, but a lot of times it's adaptation. They're just trying to survive. They're just trying to be safe. So to rapid fire one last thing, not one last thing, actually, I'm going to tell you about something else too. Rapid fire what you should not take personally. Because I need you to hear it clearly. I needed to hear this early on in my situation. So I'm going to say this to you. Do not, my friend, do not make this mean they don't actually love you. If you have a good relationship with them, you have a good relationship with them. Your relationship isn't real. Don't make it mean that. Don't make it mean that your relationship isn't real. Don't make it mean that you've done something wrong. You haven't. You haven't. Don't make it mean you're being rejected. You're not. Don't make it mean you're just the stepmom, so they're never going to love you. No, please don't do that. Because none of that is what's happening. You are assigning adult meaning to a child's coping strategy. You are assigning adult meaning to a child's coping strategy. That is so unfair. It's also really hard not to do, right? Because we see things from the adult lens. But don't make this whole like loyalty bind thing mean something that it doesn't mean. So what do you need to do instead? Here's what actually helps. First, you stay steady. You don't withdraw. You don't punish. You don't get passive aggressive. Well, the last time you were here and your mom showed up, blah, blah. No, we don't do that. We're not doing that. Because that just confirms their fear that relationships aren't safe. You stay steady. Second, you remove the pressure. This is the biggest one for me. Once I learned that this is what I had to do, I was like, oh, I get it. This makes sense. Don't force affection in front of mom or the other parent. Don't make it a thing. Let them come to you when it feels safe. Also, you guys can have some sort of secret handshake or some secret face that you make at each other, whatever it is. Like, you guys can have your own thing that doesn't have to be a physical touch, even if that is your thing. Even if you are like a very physical family, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hug her and kiss her, like whenever the kids come or go. If that's your thing, and you can read the room. Hopefully you're reading the room and you can see that that makes them feel uncomfortable in front of their other parent. Find something else to do. So remove the pressure. Please don't make it a thing. Let them come to you when it feels safe. Third, you become the safe place that doesn't require loyalty choices. Meaning, they never feel like they have to choose you. I know that sounds really weird, but ironically, that's what allows the relationship to grow. When you take yourself out of like the choice, like here are your choices, and you just say, you know what, I'm going to be here for you no matter what. Like, I love you through and through, whatever that looks like to you. If they feel like they don't have to choose you, they're going to feel that much safer with you, and that relationship with you is going to grow because they know that you're going to be there. That sounds really crazy, right? Trust me on this. Trust the process on this one too. Fourth, you regulate yourself. You regulate yourself. Because if you are spiraling every single time this happens, you're going to show up differently. And kids can feel that. Remember I was talking about like kids can read the room? But also, if you know that when it's transition day or you see, the other house at a sporting event or whatever it is, or wherever this happens, you already know that it's coming. You already know that something's going to happen. Something's going to feel weird. Something's going to whatever. You already know. So you already start feeling weird. You already are starting to put out these weird vibes. Guess what? Remember, kids can see that. They can feel it. They can sense it. They can insert whatever. They know. So then they start to turn weird. And it's like, we're in this vicious cycle. How the hell do we get off of it? You regulate yourself. You stay steady. This is one situation where I'm like, be the bigger person in this situation because it's really hard for the kids in this sense. Like, it's so hard. So here's your takeaway. It's not rejection. It's literally emotional survival. Your stepkid is not choosing against you. So meaning like they're just not choosing you. That's a double negative. So that means it's a positive. They're not choosing you. They're just trying to hold on to both relationships with the limited tools that they have. And if they're in therapy, like, God love you guys, like that's amazing. And yeah, it might look awkward as far as like them trying to hold on to both relationships. It might feel uncomfortable. It might sting sometimes. I promise you that it absolutely does. But it's not a reflection of your value in their life. If anything, it means the relationship matters enough that they're trying to protect something. Even if they're doing it in a way that makes you want to scream into a pillow. Okay, I'm going to say that again for you. If anything, it means the relationship they have with you matters enough that they're trying to protect something. Even if they're doing it in a way that makes you want to scream into a pillow. Listen, I see you. I totally get it. If this podcast episode hit you in the, oh crap, I've been taking this personally the entire time kind of way, you are exactly who the Stepmom Side community is for. Because these are the moments that will either A, break you down, or B, help you build confidence in your role. And you don't have to figure that out alone. You can come join us at aliciacresco.com/community, or you can find the link right here below the show notes. Or if you're like, nope, listen, Alicia, I need help with my specific situation. I need to sift through like what's what here. I do one-to-one coaching, and that's where we take this and apply it directly to your life. And also, if you know another stepmom who has absolutely stood there like an emotional ghost at pickup, please send her this episode because trust me, she thinks it's about her too. It's not. It's nothing to do with you or her. But I will chat with you next week. Thanks for taking time to listen to this week's episode. If anything was helpful or resonated with you, please share it on social media and tag me. I'm just at Alicia Crosco. And if you could leave a 5-star rating and review while you're at it, that would also be really helpful. And if you find yourself struggling with your stepmom journey and you want a little bit more support without the hefty price tag of coaching, you might want to check out the Stepmom Side community, which is my own private community for stepmoms, where you get to connect with other stepmoms around the world and myself, where I hold weekly office hours and monthly group coaching. It's kind of like you have your own personal coach in your own back pocket. Again, without that hefty price tag. See you next week.